And then, so right now there are 2 people in the waiting room.
Admit.
Yeah. And you'll be in charge of that.
Well, I just did one.
You're the host.
All right, so what do I do?
Click on it. And then admit all.
All right, well, you come here and then do what?
You just up in the top right corner.
Right here? Or admit all?
Yeah, if you trust everyone, then hit admit all.
All right. Are we getting everyone at the moment?
Yeah, everybody who is waiting when you hit admit all. If they're above the line, they're not admitted yet.
All right, so I need to do it again.
Yeah. And it'll slow down.
All right, am I on? Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Y'all can talk. You can turn your microphone on and talk to me.
Yeah, how you doing? Here you come.
Good to see y'all. I can hear you. Oh, gotta admit some more here. All right. We'll get going here in a little bit.
Right.
Hi, Jim.
Hello there. How you doing, Doreen?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you on here.
Likewise.
Hi, Jim.
Hey there. Are we going to have Michael join us?
He's at work today. I'm not sure if he'll be able to make it.
Well, then we're going to talk about him then. You know.
Ooh.
We'll give you an open mic, Miles, to talk about Michael and anyone else. You know.
Oh, whoopee.
Hi, Miles.
How you doing, Doreen?
All right. I'm all right. How are you?
All right.
It's nice to see you without the mask.
Sore point.
We all got to do it.
I understand the all.
Point well taken.
All right.
All right. Well, we're here to have fun.
Yes.
And we're here. It is. It's Thursday, October 15th, 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, and we're having beautiful weather here in Virginia today. And we hope you all are too. We hope people aren't or as least affected as possible by the fires and anything else that's going on that's not good. But here at Titan Talks, we're going to try to have a little fun and try to throw some happiness towards your all's way, and just talk about chit chat, and then go through our presentation. So what's going on with you all? You're welcome to talk. Pete, I see you logged on here. Did you get your train car yet?
It's in the garage. The transfer happened in Philadelphia Monday night.
All right.
My son picked it up your place Monday morning and brought it up to Philly at his brother's place.
Uh-huh.
We swapped it in the garage, and he was headed to Boston Tuesday, and I headed home.
All right. Well, I hope it was okay.
Yeah, everything is as expected, and then some. It looks good, and I'm going to make it into my air brake car and auxiliary water car for the steam engine I have on order.
Okay. Dwight, what do you got to say? You're looking quiet today. We're not hearing you. How about you, Mark? You got anything to say?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nothing much. Normally Thursdays is the day we go up and work and work on our track. And we're in a park up here, and they closed the park down for 2 days. They got what they call a spare the air day. So
okay.
Nobody can go up there. You know, it's
I'm on now.
No fun.
I found the button. I'm on. I'm doing okay.
Awesome. There we go, Dwight. We can hear you now.
I found the right button.
Technology. Anyone else want to call out and say, hey, before we get going here, or as we get going? Well, we just sent out a kind of an email blast, and we had several things on it. One thing is introducing our new Murphy hopper, which is a large version modern hopper car. And we also have an introductory special on that, which is on the website. We also have a low side gondola special featuring our 5-foot, combo of our 5-foot and 7-foot car, in case anyone's interested. Also, everyone keep in mind that that these talks are available on our website under Titan Talks. They're usually, while it takes us a few days to post them, so in this case, we have the meeting today, and it's going to be Tuesday before we get it posted and up and running. But still, it's apparent that people all over the country and some of the world are joining us on the recording, because they can't join us now, but there's an awful lot who are looking at us later. So, keep it clean, everybody. Keep it clean.
Yeah, right.
And then
What's the
today's
next cup, Jim?
there you go. And then today's topic, we're going to go through. We're going to show you us assembling a train car. A little bit of what we do for the assembly. We'll get to that here in a little bit. And just another little note of something that we've just started offering for some that would like to take advantage of it, and that's some potential financing from a firm financing. We have nothing to do with it, but they're an outside agency that finances large purchases, and for some this might be a good option. Anyway, that's up and running on the website. Another thing we did this week, which we'll be putting out more information on later, is we made a tool to make coupling our locomotive and slug units a lot easier. In the past, it's been hard to couple the slug to the locomotive, especially when the lines were pressurized. And we made a special tool that depressurizes the lines, so that's easy to couple a powered slug to the locomotive unit. And we'll have more on that later, but it's something we'll be offering with any purchase. It goes with the locomotive now. It's a standard or a slug. Makes getting them together real easy. Getting them apart was always easy, but getting them back together was hard to push the lines together, and now it's easy. Well, that's what I've got. Y'all got anything before we start? We're going to go ahead and get started here.
How does one get one of those tools that you're talking about, Jim?
Well, I think since you all have a locomotive and slug that we provided you, just got to talk nicely.
Jim, can we have one of those tools?
That
please?
works.
All right.
Mainly, the best thing to do, if you would, Miles, is send me an email so that I see it and remember to do it.
All right, I understand.
That's the toughest part.
All right.
So, all right, well, we're going to get started with our little presentation. Assembly, how we go through to assemble a train car. This is after we've gotten all the parts ready, which is standard of how we do things. Once all the parts are ready, then we start assembly, and the average assembly time of a train car might be 15 hours to, passenger car is 40 hours. And flat cars are a little quicker, but this just represents the assembly. And if you were building a kit from one of our cars, you'd be using the same parts we use to assemble the car. Now, not all of our cars are offered in kits, but those that are, this will give you a look kind of at the process of how to put one together, but also it gives you an inside view of what we do, what we go through putting one together. Let's see, we got some people to admit. I got to keep remembering to do that. So here we are. We're going to start with my technical advisor, Corey, here.
To share screen.
Push the button, Jim.
I know this is I'm technologically challenged on this. All right, what now? Yep, we have
Sorry.
the technical advisor is here with me now, Corey. We're going to figure this out and see if we can do it. All right. I think we're going to get started here. All right, here we go. Like I said, this is our typical train car construction. This is some of the disclaimer, but we'll let you read it a little bit as we go. And this also will be available on our website. It'll probably be tomorrow. Well, actually, it'll be Tuesday before it's up. But this will live permanently on our website, this little presentation I'm showing you, because it is good shows everything about how we assemble the train cars, and for those interested in kits or just want to see how their car was assembled. First thing we do is we do a sub-assembly of the car sides. Here's the parts laid out, and we're going to start assembling. In this case, we're going to start adding riveting the ribs on. And of course, we have a nice special riveting operation that does that. And then here we are putting the top and bottom angles on the car after we put the ribs on. Of course, there's subtle differences with each car, and this is just showing how we're doing the Murphy hopper. The new Murphy hopper that have come out with, but it gives you a good idea overall of our car construction. And there we are adding riveting on the frame angle that goes on the car side, which will attach to our frame spine. These cars are robust and can carry anything that you can put in it. You know, from 800 to 1,000 pounds, that's not an issue with these train cars. We do use a lot of aluminum. We can process the aluminum efficiently. The aluminum does not rust. It's cheaper to ship, and it's easier for you to handle as far as loading and unloading and derailing. It also tracks well. Cars tracking well don't have to be heavy cars in order to track well. Even these cars, even though they might be lighter weight than some of the counterparts of steel cars, they all track well on tracks throughout the country. Here we are, a little time-lapse video of just our main assembler, James, working on the car sides before, getting them ready to, before we start putting them on the car frame. So, and here we are. This is what the finished inside of the car side looks like. It's smooth from the rivets, the dome head of the rivets on the outside, and the rivets been smashed flat on the inside. And here we go some more. And actually, that's how quick James works all the time. So he's pretty good at it. He's built a lot of cars. He's built an awful lot of cars. And showing putting the frame together. We got to do things like adding the bolster blocks and the truck mounting pin before you get too far along. All right, make sure we got everyone invited here. Now the frame is ready. Yeah, it looks like Michael Murphy wants to join us.
No, don't do it.
But too late, I accidentally hit the button.
All right.
Here we are working on the frame of a train car, which happens to be a Murphy hopper. Let's get it going again here. We've bolted the frame together. No welding, because welding, it's tough for anyone to get a good weld. It's tough for anyone to not warp the whole car putting together. This ensures an everlasting bond because we use elastic lock nuts that will not come loose. They're permanent, yet you can break them loose if you have to. But this ensures a flat frame car with no twist or warps, yet the frame will give a little bit if it has to. Like I said, these cars are designed to carry a lot of load, and they will. All right, here we are. He's working fast again. Like I say, we do spend about 15 hours. You know, this particular car would take about 15 hours of assembly, and that's with all the pieces together, all of our tools ready, all of our processes down pat. So, you know, someone else doing it at home, they're going to spend double that at least, or more, and probably more. It's just the way it is. And here we are adding, you know, we're adding the car sides to the frame. There's various operations to it. James has done this a lot on many cars, so for many years. And keep in mind, upstream, we've made all the parts with other staff members, other employees on the CNC machines and some hand fabricating, getting everything ready for the assembly. It's definitely not an operation where we make a part, put it on, go back and make a part, put it on. And here we are, you know, making any sub-assembly that might go on the car and preparing it. In this case, it's the hopper bays that go underneath. Here we are adding the sub-assembly of hopper bays to the car as we're adding, right before we add the floor sheet. Once the floor sheet's in, we're adding the ends, the car ends, which is a combination in this case of bolting and riveting. And, you know, then once we have all that, we're adding the corner braces and end braces, and then eventually going on to the grab irons, stirrup steps, and then any finishing touches and finishing out the car and deburring the car further and taking care of sharp edges. Of course, the car has been sanded and processed and metal finished way before it even started assembly, and even cleaned before assembly. And then it goes through all of that again after assembly, cleaning, making sure no sharp edges, you know, finishing touches, you know, and then then we have the finished raw unpainted car, you know, ready to go, ready to send out the door. It might be sitting on the shelf. It's ready for us to get an order and a customer paint. We'll add customer paint, or they can get it raw. And then here's one of our, one of the cars that we've painted all silver, ready for graphics, and which the graphics are on the way. They just weren't here in time to get it up on this video. But we can paint it anything, any kind of custom paint, color scheme, and custom graphics. It's all part of it. All of the painting, of course, is done in-house, which we're going to have another session similar to this one, a presentation on how we paint, what we go through to paint, the products we use, the methods we use, the preparation and applying it, everything, because I think it's interesting to everybody, and it shows you what we have to go through to get a good, durable, professional paint job. But I think we're done here. So we're going to stop and then get my technical advisor to get us back
That little
to
red box at the top there.
share. All right, so now we're back at the meeting. Good to have you all here again. Any questions? Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's
How
pretty interesting.
many,
What's that?
how many bays does the hopper have?
Does it have?
Is
many-
it a 3-bay?
Oh, bays. It's a 4-bay hopper. Now we have
Oh,
one in the development that we did that was a 3-bay, and then we've sort of standardized on a 4-bay. We can make it either way, 3-bay or 4-bay. Being that it's a pretty large hopper, it's available for either way.
It looks fantastic. I'm excited about it.
So glad you like it. But that's a little bit of what we go through for assembly. Pretty short view of what we do, but it gives you an inside view of how we do it.
Jim, is that unit, it doesn't look like it's a functional dropping unit. If you put gravel in there,
It's not.
Oh, I see.
It's not our regular hopper car and this hopper car are for looks only. They're not made to be functional. Functional adds a whole new dimension to the car as far as complexity and price. Also, you get into an area where now you're beating up your expensive show car, by dumping gravel in it and using it. Now, some want to do that, but this car, the majority of those who want this car are wanting just a nice looking hopper car in their train, or several hopper cars in their train. Same thing, same as when we sell a box car or any number of our cars, or more for looks. Even though they can carry the weight, sometimes making an additional function is difficult. Unless, except our tank cars are made to carry liquids and or be a big ice chest. We do that.
Wow.
Now, I think someone asked the price of these. We have an introductory special, which is on the website now and all our constant contact that we just sent out. But we have the hopper car with modern trucks, couplers, and painted and shipped for $17.49. And then if you buy a second one, the second one's less at $15.75, and a third one is even less at $14.49 for those who are wanting more than one car. So it's a pretty neat looking car. On our website, we also have a picture of the small hopper, of our regular hopper, which now looks small, and then this hopper to give you some idea, size comparison. But this is good for the people doing a little more modern train, which is the direction some people are going. That's the day we're in. And so thanks for the suggestion from Michael Murphy on how to accomplish this without really getting completely involved in a very detailed car. We used a lot of stuff that we had on hand so that we could come out with a car, and price it something that people wanted, and also something where people can get them, look good, and available. They're available. So all of those things come together and part of our decision of what train cars to come out with.
Jim, Ronald.
Yes, sir, Ronald.
How you doing? You mentioned about your tank car.
Yep.
You don't want to know how many positive comments I get from mine, but what I did have to do, I put baffles about an arm's length from the center opening, so that stuff that's in there doesn't get lost where you can't reach it.
Oh yeah, that's true. That can happen.
Yeah, and I also put I drilled and tapped a hole on the bottom for a valve. It makes it a little easier to drain it.
Well, we generally put a drill and tap a hole and have a plug in there that you got to reach in and get. And I know that's not great, but valves we haven't come up with a good idea to get a valve on the outside that doesn't ugly up the car for what we do. But
I use real small stuff. A ball valve and an angle, so it's actually hiding within the substructure of the car.
Awesome.
It doesn't show that much. You can paint it flat black if you wanted to, just to hide it a little.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
One thing I did do, quite a few people up our way have taken my suggestion. On my Jeep 30, I painted the motor that's inside wherever it is visible through the windows with a high temperature flat black.
Right, I can appreciate that.
It helps the motor disappear, if you will,
Oh, yeah.
as far as visibility is concerned.
Yep. I think that's good, especially a lot of times, more times than not, the motors come in with a red cowling.
Oh,
Sometimes
yes.
they're black.
It stands out like a sore thumb.
Yep. I would be careful about painting the aluminum fins and the structure on the motor, just because you don't want to do anything to impede the cooling.
No, but I just painted wherever it shows through the
Yeah.
windows.
Okay.
So the rest of the motor is untouched, just the upper area where it shows through the motor,
Right. Now,
through
that's
the
a good
windows.
idea. That's a good idea.
Just a suggestion. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a good one. That's how, I mean, we live with this stuff every day. And sometimes, you know, some obvious things we overlook, and painting that, especially that red cowling black, you know, would be a good idea. All
Hey,
right.
Jim, this is Pete.
Yeah, Pete.
Couple of comments.
All right.
I've built 4 of your cars as kits at this point.
Uh-huh.
A couple of years ago, I built the 5 and 6 foot flat car for my engineer car and riding car.
Uh-huh.
And those are a piece of cake with the hand rivet tool that you provide.
Okay, good.
In the summer, I built 2 of your standard hoppers.
Uh-huh.
And when I opened the box set, when you shipped them to me, I looked at the 3 bags of rivets and said, oh my God.
Were you as quick at it as what our video just showed?
It took me about 25 hours a car.
Okay.
So a little slower. And
No,
a few,
that's
I had
still
to
good.
undo a few of the sequence of steps, but not too many. Checked all went together faster. But 2 comments. When I looked at the bag of rivets and the hand rivet tool, I said, So I invested in a air hammer for $100.
Right.
I had a compressor, so that made a big difference in terms of assembly. So if anybody is doing a car kit of that order of magnitude, that might be a worthwhile investment.
It's worth getting, even with just one car kit. Potentially, you can get an inexpensive air hammer tool, and you want to get one that has a flat. What we would recommend or use or send people would have a flat bit, because all you're trying to do is mash the back of the rivet on the inside of the car while you're holding the dome head and the pieces of material together. And,
Well,
and
the
that's
kit
what
I
we
got
do.
had a dimpled adapter for the dome head, and you had a bucking bar for the backside that you flattened.
Well, it's really easy to mess up the dome head rivet that you see that way. That's why we hold the rivet.
I did mess a couple when I didn't keep my eye on what I was riveting, but not too bad.
That's why we do it backwards from that. We hold the rivet head with a bucking tool, make sure all the pieces are pressed together, and then smash the back in. And that does 2 things. It compresses the rivet inside the hole as far as grip strength, and also domes over and mashes the back of the rivet on the back of the car for additional strength. And then you can kind of sand it smooth also on the inside, so it's not a snag point.
The other thing I found was, even though you had everything NC drilled, I couldn't see any problems looking through the hole when the 2 pieces were joined. But the rivet wouldn't easily go in some places, so I kept the 39 drill bit handy, cleaned it out, and no problem at all.
It is very typical to have to ream out the holes a little bit with the drill bit, because these are all fairly precise fitting parts. They're pretty close.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it.
And actually, just a quick run through with the drill, like you just said, it is a good technique and an appropriate technique in many cases.
Yeah,
it gives you just enough leeway to get it done easily.
Yeah, even though you look at the 2 pieces, you don't see any ridges or anything. The rivet will bind, and then occasionally, not too often, and then
That's
just
right.
clean it out, no problem. But I enjoyed putting those kits together. They were a lot of fun.
Awesome. Appreciate you saying so.
So, yeah, well, I like to construct stuff, so.
Well, anyone else have something to say here? It looks like we're burning up a whole half hour already. So bring on some more comments.
So when you
One question. No, go ahead.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
So when you're riveting, you rivet them from the backside? Is that what you're saying?
We're mashing it over from the back side and holding
not
the
the
front side.
And not the rivet head.
What's that?
And not the rivet head.
Correct. We're holding the rivet head and mashing it in from the back side.
So what are you holding the rivet head with? Just a screwdriver or something?
No, we send a little rivet buck tool that has a dimple in it that's shaped like the head of the dome head of the rivet, and you can hold this in your hand so that you have something to buck against.
I got you.
Then that comes in every kit.
Hey, Jim, when you sent me my caboose kit last year, I used just a square stock of pretty heavy metal and drilled a dimple in it.
Did you?
Yeah, drilled it till it just fit without deforming the metal around it. If you drill too deep, you'll leave the imprint around it.
That's right. It's touchy.
Yeah, so you just drill just a little bit at a time until you get the dimple just right. Then you can hold I put mine in a vise. I put my material in the vise, held the dimple with the backup, and then just lightly tap the other end with the hammer.
Gotcha.
With a small hammer. And flared like you said, flared the inside.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And then just quit stopping. Stop. You got to know when to stop beating on it, or else you'll destroy the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it was a fun project. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, that's glad to hear that. You know, these kits aren't for everybody these days, but you all as a group, you know, represent some of those that do like to assemble them and can assemble them.
Yeah. Well, the ends of the caboose was a pretty good challenge, knowing where everything went on the ends. But once I looked at some pictures and got the drawings, and it just went all together perfect. I really enjoyed it.
Well, just a little history on kits. When we started this company, you know, over 35 years ago, you know, we were known. One thing we were known for is what kits we had. We had some actual prints instead of Xerox copies on the back of a napkin, and that was, we really raised the bar back then. Now, and as time has gone on, we've gotten pretty good prints and print sets and assembly drawings and piece drawings for the kits. You know, still keeping the bar pretty high. I recognize that what we really need is now assembly instructions and more how-to videos and pictures and so forth. But on the other side, the business side, there's fewer and fewer people of our customers that want kits. The concentration has been on assembled products and trying to be really efficient and good at that and shipping it. Because people seem to have less time these days as a whole, you know, all of our customer base. And there's fewer and fewer that do want to take time and assemble, have the joy and fun of assembling the cars. So we're trying to be accommodating to those and still offer them, even though we do few kits compared to what we do on assembled cars. And actually, we don't have a lot of price difference between the assembled car and the kit, actually, because we can assemble it so efficiently, it works out. So that's a little history of the kits, of where they come from, where we are today. I did talk to a customer recently that did assemble one of our original kits from back in probably 1982 or 83. And he still had the drawings for it. And so he was going to give me some, you know, pictures of him holding up the drawings. That goes back a long time. And so that was a nice little piece of fun history for me to see. I might try to share that if I get that.
Yeah, Ronald here again.
Yes, sir.
I could throw in a little bit of background if you'd like. You were saying more and more people are buying the cars rather than the kits.
Yep.
I would assume most of you have seen the various videos right from the beginning when Quentin Breen started Train Mountain. And I think it was on the second or third video tape. He did an interview, and one of the things he was saying was that in the early days, people were raised with steam engines, and most of them were blue-collar workers, and machining was a second nature to them.
Correct.
Whereas in the current day, and that was their only job, in the current day, when people work 2 jobs or more in a family, they're not building engines, they're building trains.
That's correct.
And that's exactly the way he put it. They're not building engines, they're building trains. That's why at Train Mountain, they had to enlarge that 1 yard so extensively, because more and more people were bringing trains of length than just the locomotives.
Yep.
And in this day and age where you can buy stuff, people would rather, turn the switch and start up.
That's true.
As a steam person, I'm not putting down steam. I love to run steam engines, but there are times when there are people that don't have the mechanical ability.
That's right.
So
it is. I've seen the customer base change quite a bit over all these years, and in many good ways. Though the average age of our customers come way down. We have a lot of young customers. And they aren't as mechanically inclined as what people were years ago. And also they are working, 2 jobs and going to soccer practice and all kinds of other activities. And so if they're going to participate in this hobby, it tends to lean more towards turn the key and go, uncrate the car and put it on the track, and have time and fun putting together their train and refining their train and maybe super detailing it.
Yeah, I see Miles had his hands up. Go
Yes,
ahead,
sir,
Miles.
Miles.
Yeah, it's pretty funny too, because when I came into Los Angeles Live Steamers, I was a guy that sat behind a desk. And when it came down to working on my engine, as Mike Murphy would tell you, I knew the engine was a certain color, and the thing that I sat on was a car.
There you go.
And he kept on saying to me, don't you know what you're riding on, and stuff like that. But it turns out that after all these years of doing that, I'm the one that keeps the engines running over at Los Angeles Live Steamers. So I have 5 engines that I have to take care of besides my own.
Yep.
And it's rather interesting. I've had many opportunities to learn how to run steam, but my biggest problem is I can't find the key.
Yeah.
And if I can't find, I couldn't find the key, then what the heck?
Yep.
But no, I appreciate steam engines a lot, but the purpose for me is that I want to get out on the track and I want to go. And when I finish running the engines, I want to put them away and go home.
And that's very typical of many of our customers these days. And frankly, that's good for our business. Now, I love steam too, but I don't have time for steam, as far as maintenance and running them, and then being at for me, I can't be at a track site and run steam because I represent diesel, so I have to do that. But I enjoy that. But it is typical that there's fewer steam people. It's unfortunate because it's tough to be in the steam business because there's fewer people, but there are some diehard people, and there are people keeping it alive and trying to keep it thriving, and that's great because the steam really is interesting and fun and all-consuming. That's what makes part of the hobby great. It's all-consuming when you're on a steam engine. You can't be thinking of other problems or anything else. You're dedicated to that one piece.
I enjoy running steam myself. It's a shame that it's kind of fading away.
Yep, I agree.
Well, I think you guys are all right. It just kind of depends on. I just had a birthday on Monday, and I'm not gonna say how old I am.
Happy birthday! How old are you?
I'm not going to tell you, but my wife says too old. But anyway, it gets back to what you remember. When I was a kid, I saw steam engines in revenue service.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what I grew up with. And so as you can see, I built 2 of them and I love steam. But I think for the first time I talked to you, I commented, I said, you know, I'm looking forward to getting something where I can just hop on it and go and then put it back in the stalls every once in a while, you know?
That's
Because
right.
it takes a lot to work on those steam engines to keep them running.
It is handy to pull into the station or pull into the yard, turn the key off and go to lunch or talk to someone.
Yeah.
and
like
get away for a half hour or more.
Like the other guy said, I built 2 of these steam engines and I wound up, I'm the chairman of the locomotive committee for my club. And we've got, oh God, we've got like 5 steam engines, 2 gas engines and 1 electric, you know, so I'm always busy trying to keep those babies operating, you know.
There you go. Well, you'll be enjoying diesel here before long. So
I hope so.
there you go. Well, it's about time to wrap it up. Anyone else have a comment as we leave here?
Enjoyed it.
Well, I appreciate you all visiting with me and me visiting with you. We're going to do this again and we'll have another presentation of something. Hopefully you enjoyed today's. Everyone take care out there. Stay safe. You know, try to weather all this COVID stuff as best you can. We're up and operating normally, fully staffed and have been, and making trains. And we look forward to, you know, you're all's helping us keeping doing that. So take care. See you next time.
Thank you, Jim.
Goodbye.
I have a quick
Bye,
question.
Jim.
Take care. Thank you for joining us.
Jim, can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just checking to make sure you got that hour beater I sent you.
Yep. I think it's here. I put it aside so that we can put it on. But yeah, I've got that.
That looked like it was the right size and everything.
Yeah, I've got to study it some more, but I'm pretty sure we can use that. We got room for that.
Oh, okay, great. Glad to hear it. You stay safe, huh?
You all too. Take care.
All right.
Bye, Jim.
Remember to vote.
Yeah.